Hi, and welcome back to my channel, Good Effort Meg. Today, I wanted to do more of a tutorial for how I was able to make a sweater for Pennie, my cat. I wanted to make her a sweater because, as you've seen in maybe some of my previous videos, Pennie has a little bit of hair loss on her front legs, so I just wanted to make her something to keep her from licking so much and grooming. And I decided, since it's now officially spring, I would make it cute and put some strawberries. So I freehanded this, but I wrote it down as I went. I made a mock-up. I used some other designs as inspiration, but since this isn't a pattern that I took directly from anybody, I felt comfortable enough to share the pattern directly with y'all. So I hope if you decide to make this for maybe your little fur baby, that I hope it's helpful. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So for materials, we're definitely going to need some yarn. So I chose this pink yarn, which I used on Jigglypuff. And then for the strawberries, we're going to need red, green, and white for the little seeds. For the body of the sweater, we use a 5.5mm hook and the strawberries a 2.5mm hook. Gonna need a pair of scissors, some stitch markers, and a tapestry needle. This is the design that I originally came up with for Pennie's sweater and some of her measurements, which you'll also need. And this is the pattern that I wrote up as I went along, and I put all of those notes in the video. So to start with the neckband, we are just going to do a simple chain. I chose a chain of 7 just because that's how high I wanted the neckband to be. You can choose any length that works for the design you're trying to come up with. Next, you are going to skip the first stitch from the hook, and you're just going to do a single crochet in each of those remaining stitches. So since I originally chained 7 stitches, I will single crochet for a total of 6 stitches. Next, at the end of that row, you are just going to chain 1, turn your piece, and working in that back loop only, you're just going to single crochet in each of those single crochets. And what this does is it gives it kind of a neat ribbed look. And you're just going to repeat this until you essentially get the circumference of your fur baby's neck. For Pennie, I measured her neck to be about 10 inches, so I added a 1/2 inch just so I knew it would fit comfortably over her head and it wouldn't be too tight to make her uncomfortable. So this is what it should look like by the time you reach your desired circumference. So here you can see me checking to make sure that's where I want it. And next, to go ahead and make it into a proper neckband, is we're going to chain 1, and we're just working in those back loops, and you're just slip stitching on each of those stitches. So trying to line it up as best as possible just to make sure that neckband will stay straight. Lastly, for the neckband, we're going to single crochet in each of the stitches around. This just makes the edge have a nice finished look. And I'm also just working in that end there, just so I don't have to weave it in once everything else is done. You know, it just is more efficient in my opinion. Now when you reach the other end of your work, you could do a simple join here with the slip stitch, but here I'm going to show you an interesting way that I learned to join the ends of work. So you actually pull that loop up, take your hook out, insert it into that first stitch in the round through both loops, just like so. Then we're gonna take that loop, wrap it around our hook, carefully pull it through that stitch, like so. And you might have to twist your hook around like I did here, and then just pull it tight. With all that done, we're just gonna fold our neck piece in half with that center seam facing up, and just making sure that I have that as close to centered as possible. And we're gonna mark our side stitches as well as that center back stitch with some markers. So now that we are getting into the body of the sweater, the very first thing is we're going to chain 3. So for most of this sweater, we're going to be working as a triple crochet. So I'm going to work the first couple kind of slowly here, just so you can get a good idea if you've never worked one of those before. But these chains here for these first 2 rounds do not count as a stitch, which simply means that you are going to work in the same stitch as the chain. And here you can see, instead of a double crochet, you yarn over twice, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to continue that all the way around. But at the points of the stitch markers, we're going to do an increase, which simply means that we're going to work 2 triple crochets into that single stitch, as you can see me doing. And just don't forget to move your marker up to your row so you can make sure you do it in the correct stitch in round 2. And again, I'm just taking an opportunity to show you that joining process that I did earlier. Again, you can do just a simple slip stitch here to join those ends if you'd like. But I just thought this was a clever way to join ends, so I just wanted to share it. So just put your hook through like so, and then pull it tight. And there you are, you're ready to work on your next round. So you're going to repeat that entire process for round 2. Now on to round 3. So this one could be a little tricky, but essentially I just chained 3, worked a triple crochet into those first 3 stitches, and that measurement came from measuring Pennie's arms and how far they are apart across her chest. So that's what I'm measuring here, making sure the armholes are going to be centered. And you're just going to mark to mirror those measurements on the right hand side of your work. So as you're working around, you remember, oh, I need to stop here, chain, skip some stitches, and then continue on with those triple crochets. So that's what you see me doing here, is I'm counting back those 3 stitches there. So I'm marking this stitch as, hey, I want to work a stitch here, and then I'm counting the 9 stitches that I will be skipping and not working into, and then I'm gonna mark the 10th stitch, so I know that should be my final stitch that I work in prior to chaining. I hope that made sense. But what we're doing here is we're creating the armholes, so we just want it to be symmetrical. So once you've done that, and for my measurements, I am chaining 11 here, and then I will count over to skip 9 stitches, and then I will work a triple crochet into that 10th stitch. Here I forgot to yarn over for my triple crochet. So I got a little finagly. There we go. And just work your triple crochet. And you're just going to do triple crochets until you get to that stitch marker And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So once you get to your stitch marker, you chain 11, skip those 9 stitches, and then triple crochet into that spot. And then you'll have 2 more triple crochets if your cat happens to have the same measurements as Pennie. And then you'll either slip stitch to join or do that joining process that I've shown you. For rounds 4 and 5, you're just going to be working a triple crochet in all of the stitches around. If you need to add an increase because your cat might be a little bit bigger, go ahead and just add those where you see fit. And I just tried this on at several points on Pennie just to make sure everything was going smoothly. And for these leg holes, just be patient. I do like to work into those stitches. It can be a little tough, but just be patient with it, you got it. Otherwise, you can just work into the loop. So for round 6, we're gonna work it just like the other rounds. So chain 3 and then triple crochet. And once we get to the point where we're above the increases that we're doing previously, we're gonna do a decrease. So for a triple crochet decrease, you're gonna yarn over twice just like normal. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over twice, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. And that is how you do a triple crochet decrease. So now on to round 7. Similar to round 6, we're just gonna be chaining 3, triple crocheting until we get to roughly the point above that decrease that we did in round 6. We're gonna do another triple crochet decrease, triple crochet to the center, another decrease, and then just triple crochet to the end. Now on to round 8, and we are going to triple crochet all the way around and finish off once you get to the end in your preferred way. This part is definitely optional. This will just kind of add a little cape-like effect to the sweater. And I'm just counting over 4 stitches on the right side from the edge and the same on the left side. And what that will do for us is we will attach our yarn on that left side where the green stitch marker is, and we will just chain 3, and that will count as a stitch. And all that means is that instead of how we were doing previously in the sweater where we were working our triple crochet into the same stitch as the chain, in this instance we will not work in the same stitch. We will do our triple crochet in the next stitch, and you will continue to work triple crochets all the way around until you reach your marker on the right side, or in this case until you get to that blue marker. So again, this is just adding a little cape-like effect to the sweater. You can see here I'm showing you, hey, we're working in the stitch next to where we put the stitch marker and the chain. And just continue on working those triple crochets all the way around until you get to your stitch marker. Now you can do as many rounds of these as you would like, just measure your cat. But here we're just gonna chain 3 from that last stitch in round 9, turn our work, and work a triple crochet into the next stitch. So again, these chains do count as stitches, so we're not gonna be working in those same stitches. And just do as many rounds as you'd like. So I did 3, And as we did on the neck edge, we are going to chain 1 and work single crochets all along this opening. And again, this is not something that you have to do. This just creates kind of a cleaner look. It makes it look a little bit more finished. But again, this is not necessary. And on those sides there where those triple crochets are, I just tried to work as many single crochets that made it look evenly spaced. You don't want to work like one in that and it looks stretched out. But here's what it looks like at this point. So you could stop here if you'd like. But since I'm making this specifically to keep Pennie from grooming her arms, we are gonna add some sleeves. So I'm gonna show you how to do one of them because it's the same process on both. But you're gonna insert your hook in that center front corner stitch. You're gonna attach your yarn here, just like what we did on the body. And we are going to chain 3. And again, how we were working those last couple of rounds. This does count as a stitch, so we will triple crochet into the next stitch. And for the first round, that is all we're gonna do, is work those triple crochets all the way around. As a side note, I only worked 1 triple crochet into those sides you can see here. So again, use your favorite joining method. Here, I'm just doing a simple slip stitch. For round 2 of the sleeves, we are going to chain 3 and then work an alternating pattern of a triple crochet and a triple crochet decrease all the way around on the sleeve. Again, your fur baby might be different, so you might want to work a triple crochet decrease kind of pattern. Just do what works best for your pet. This is what worked for Pennie, so this is what I went with. And for the next couple of rounds, I just worked a triple crochet in each stitch all the way around. During the mock-up, I actually had another row of the decrease, but that ended up being too tight on Pennie, so this is what I went for this go round, and it worked much better. And again, you can make the sleeves as short or long as you want. And for round 7, just like we did on the neck and on the body of the sweater, I am just going to add a row of single crochets all the way around just to finish off that edge. This is not required, but once you're done, either way, just finish off your sleeve. So here's what it looks like with one complete sleeve. So you're just going to repeat everything we just did to make your second sleeve. So now we are on to making the strawberry appliques. So we're gonna start with a magic ring. I'm trying to work it real slow here so you can see how to actually do it. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'm hoping just seeing will help you. So we go under, over, pull that guy underneath, and then we're gonna make a loop. And then pinching where we made that loop, we will yarn over and pull through, similar to like a slip stitch. And that's how you do the magic ring. So once you have that part done, we are going to work 12 double crochets into that ring. So you're going to yarn over once, put your hook through the ring, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops, and that's a double crochet. And we'll just join with a simple slip stitch. So round 2 is a little complicated, but each bullet point there to the left is what you're gonna do in a different stitch. So we're gonna start with a half double crochet. So we're gonna yarn over without a chain, and we're gonna insert our hook into the loop, yarn over, pull through, and we're gonna yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and that's a half double crochet. In the next stitch, we're gonna work 4 double crochets into that single stitch. And don't forget to add your stitch marker if you're like me and often lose count. I put that into that half double crochet stitch, by the way. So here's our second double crochet. Okay, and for the next stitch, we are just going to work a half double crochet and a single crochet into that one stitch. So yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then in that same stitch, we're gonna add a single crochet. In the next 2 stitches, we're gonna put a single crochet into each of those. And so on and so forth. I just wanted to make sure that it was clear that each of these bullet points is for a different stitch, which is why I wrote it the way that I did. I hope it makes sense. I wrote it this way because actually when I was working these, I was checking them off as I did them until I got a hang of them. Here at the bottom, we will chain 1, and we're going to work a double crochet and a half double crochet into this single stitch. And as you see, if you look carefully at the pattern, we're essentially just mirroring what we're doing on both sides. So I suppose you could also use these as hearts if you didn't add the leaves, which we'll get to. But I thought this was a really neat pattern, and I'm really happy with the way it came together. So here's what it looks like all finished up. So cute. Now for the leaves of the strawberry, my philosophy was that this didn't need to be perfect, but you're gonna attach your yarn in that last double crochet of that set of 4 that we did at the end. And we're just going to attach it like we do always. And we will chain, so that way we have 4 stitches to work with. And then this part, I kind of experimented with the different leaves on different strawberries because in nature you don't have exact replicas of strawberries, but here you will slip stitch in the second chain from the hook and then down the rest of the line. Almost did a single crochet there. And it is a little bit finagly, especially depending on the type of yarn you're using, but just be patient, and you might have to turn it upside down, turn it on its side. But just remember that no 2 strawberries are alike, and that's okay. And similar to the way I wrote up the pattern for the main body of the strawberry, each of these bullet points is worked into a different stitch. Here we're slip stitching all the way into the center because we just made our stem. That 4th bullet point there, and then we will slip stitch in the next 3 stitches, and when you're doing this, I would try to be work loosely. It will just make it a little bit easier to get your hook into those stitches. So here we're going to chain 4 again. We're going to slip stitch into that bottom slip stitch, so the one that we did in the red, and only into that front loop, just like so. And this part can get tricky, so this might take a few tries. That yarn kept wanting to fall off my hook. Yep. Now essentially you're just going to keep repeating that. Chain 4, slip stitch into the next slip stitch, and you're just making little leaves. So you could have more than what I have listed here, you could have fewer than I have listed here, you could add more chains to make bigger leaves, but that's all we're doing here. So let your creative mind go to work. And here's what this guy looks like at this point. Super cute. So the last thing we need to do is add the seeds. So I just took some scrap white yarn that I had on hand and just used my tapestry needle and essentially just went back and forth until I was satisfied with the way that the seeds looked. So for Pennie's sweater, I decided to make 5 little strawberries. And then individually, I stitched them onto the sweater using my tapestry needle. So you can make more of these, you can make fewer. I opted for, just the 5 because I didn't want Pennie to paw at them. But yeah, I think it came out so cute. And here's what it looks like. All complete. It's so cute.
What you think, girl? What you think? Do you like it? What's your honest opinion? Good girl.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a bit long, but I wanted to make sure I took the time to give y'all an opportunity to maybe pause or write down the pattern as we went along. But if you decide to make this for your fur babies, or maybe just use the strawberry appliques for a different project, be sure to let me know how it went. And oh, that's thunder. Oh my gosh, okay. Anyways, so if you decide to use either part of the pattern, give me that feedback. I've never written a pattern before, and I've definitely never written a pattern that I've shared before. So as I was going along, I wrote down what made sense to me, but if it doesn't make sense to you, I'm hoping that the video kind of gets you over that. Maybe a bit of confusion, but in the future I would definitely want to make improvements to that. So leave me your feedback, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.